Hello, with me is Arjun Vaidya, and he's a D2C founder and investor. He's a brand guru, and he's genius in online, offline retail business, and owns 50 plus trademarks, right? And launched 38 products. You don't need an intro, Arjun.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to be here in Calcutta and to be a part of this amazing event, to see the energy and to take the startup movement across India.
Yeah, lovely to have you, Arjun. Same here. Arjun, I mean, based on your business growth and what you have seen professionally, I'm sure you must have a personal growth too, right? And so, what do you plan? According to your personal growth, business growth, what do you think? What next?
Yeah, look, I think as a founder, you experience a lot of things which makes you grow as a person. I think the first thing that I achieved, which defined the person I became, was failure. You face failure on a daily basis, and I think there is a misconception towards failure being a part of the early part of the journey and not later. The reality is you face failure every day, right? And so you develop a lot of grit, resilience, and thick skin to be able to fight through these times, to be able to be in the worst of times and get up again and fight again. So I think I learned a lot about managing failure. I learned a lot about accepting I don't know everything, right? I was able to accept that there may be smarter people than me in certain functions in my business, and that's okay. So I think a lot of humility. And then I think the one thing which I thought I knew, but I didn't know as much, I thought I worked hard, right? And until you build a business, you don't know what hard work means. At 14 hours, you're getting tired, but you can't get tired, right? Because you got to put in those 2 more hours because there's no opportunity. So I think from me, I learned how to deal with failure. I learned how to accept with humility that I'm not the best at everything. And I learned how to work really, really hard. And I think as a person coming out of the startup journey, having sold my business now, I think I'm a much more well-rounded person um, at this age, at 30, than I was at 25.
Great to hear that. What next?
So I now run a VC fund. I run the venture arm for World Invest in India. And I'm also very active giving back to the ecosystem now. So I have a podcast on D2C. I have a cohort-based course on D2C. I actively advise, mentor, and invest in the space. So I built one brand. My role now in life is to enable 1,000 brands a year. If I can do that through my mentorship, advice, investing, time, effort, energy, I think it's a good outcome for me.
Oh, that's awesome. 1,000 plus brands, right? That's
Absolutely, that's the goal, that's the objective, and hopefully we can get there.
great, great. So, Arjun, why do you think that building a brand equity is, important, or do you think it's important?
Yeah, look, I think from the time that I started building to today, especially in the online space, there's lots more competition, right? So while there are more customers, there are also more brands. And so be able to differentiate yourself and stand out and be defensible and have that dopamine secretion when a customer buys your brand, that only comes through content communication, eventual brand equity. And if you don't have this, you're a Me Too product which has to compete on price, and that's no fun, right? So that's the importance of building a brand. It gives that competitive edge to win.
Nice to hear that, and because this is something you build a brand is a kind of a long process, right? It doesn't happen
Takes time.
immediately. It takes time. Yeah. So, what is the important, distribution channel for any consumer product, according to you?
Hey, look, I think all channels are available. Everybody knows all the
Yeah.
channels, whether it's.
Important one.
Hey, look, I mean, that's not rocket science, right? There is e-commerce through your own website and marketplaces, and then you have offline distribution through GT, general trade, and modern trade. I think those are the four channels that consumer products will need to look at. And once you scale, you can look at the institutional and export channels. That's the entire gamut of channels available to brands.
So, what it's been experience in DSS, what you have to say about
What an
it?
amazing experience. I think I expected, obviously, a great
You
event.
have a fan following, right? People.
I hope so, but I expected a great event because the people organizing it, Abhishek sir, obviously very close friend of mine, and he's an amazing guy with amazing energy. Um, but I can tell you, it's surpassed my expectations in terms of the number of people, the energy, the enthusiasm, the bonding, the meeting of people. So I think amazing event, um, bringing something new to Kolkata, and I hope to be back next year.
Of course, lovely to have you and look forward to see you next year too.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much,
Thank
Arjun.
you.
Lovely
Thank you.
talking to you.